to understand exactly what I had to do a little searching to understand about crystals, because that's what it was made of. And throughout history, crystals have been revered as certain objects used by scientists in your computers. But to ancient man, it meant something very different. It was holy ice. It was representative of God's energy in a way. There are cultures that believed that when God cried about what was going on the earth, the tears came through the atmosphere and solidified, and that was your crystal. So that's one of the reasons they use crystal to carve the skulls. The shape of the skull became important to me to understand, well, why a crystal? Why a skull shape? As I began to do some research, I learned some things about it that surprised me and also made me feel comfortable in some ways, because I am Catholic, and it was an interesting thing to have a skull that I was now carrying around with me. But in ancient days, the skull did not mean what some of us fear today when we look at a skull, that it was death. In ancient times, it actually was a form of protection. And as I learned about Florence, Italy, what happened there is that in the museum pieces, there were actually pins that women wore with the skull on it, because it meant it was protection from God. And at the same time, if any of you are Catholic, if you look at the Saint Francis of Assisi, you will see a skull at the bottom of his feet. And there are many other images of saints that will have that same thing. So I spoke to a Jesuit priest, and he told me that the skull image meant that man conquered death. And that was a comforting thing for me. Now, the story of Maya. You will see that she too has the features of the amethyst skull, where she has the indentation on the side of her, the triangle nose, and what is rare about her is that she has 3 rows of teeth. And so far, she's the only one that has been found that has 3 rows of teeth. How I got her. In 1987, I had just separated from my husband. And if I hadn't separated from him, I don't believe that Maya would be in my life. What happened is there was a self-awareness cruise, and I decided to go on it. He found it for me as sort of a present for separating.